Pay attention to this footage. It is 3:14 a.m. on April 14th, 2024. A Ring doorbell camera on a house in the Crescent Ridge subdivision, Knoxville, Tennessee, activates. Motion detected. The night vision footage shows the front window of 14 Briarwood Court across the street. A figure appears behind the glass. A woman in a nightgown, her hair loose, her movements careful and deliberate. The movements of someone trying not to make a sound. She presses a piece of white paper flat against the window. She holds it with both hands. She stares directly across the street, directly into the camera she knows is there, and she holds the paper for 11 seconds. Then her head snaps to the left. She hears something inside the house. She pulls the paper away and disappears. The window goes dark. The neighbor who owns that doorbell camera will not check the footage until 7:15 the next morning. She will screenshot the image. She will zoom in on the paper. 5 words in shaky handwriting. "I am not his wife." Within 72 hours, that doorbell camera footage would trigger one of the most disturbing investigations Knox County has ever processed. The woman in the window had been missing for 14 months. She had been living 40 feet from 30 families who waved at her every morning and never once suspected she was a prisoner. And the man standing somewhere behind her in that dark house had done this before. The couple on Briarwood Court. On January 6, 2024, a moving truck arrived at 14 Briarwood Court at 9:40 a.m. 2 people stepped out of a dark blue Chevrolet Tahoe. The man was tall, clean-cut, wearing a pressed polo on moving day. He walked directly to the nearest neighbor's front door and introduced himself. Ryan Callister, 38, financial consultant, working from home. Firm handshake, warm smile, direct eye contact. He said they had moved from Memphis. He said they needed a quieter pace. He carried every box himself except one. The woman was late 20s, petite, dark hair pulled back. She was introduced as Laura. She smiled when she was spoken to. She nodded politely. She did not initiate a single conversation. When a neighbor named Karen Jessup asked Laura directly where she was from, Ryan answered for her. "Laura is from out west originally. She is still settling in." Laura nodded. She did not correct him. She carried one box inside. Ryan carried the rest. Within the first week, Ryan Callister had learned the names of every family on the street. He brought cookies. He asked about children, about jobs, about weekend plans. Friendly but not intrusive. Tidy but not obsessive. Directly across the street at 11 Briarwood Court lived Diana Padilla, 45, a divorced high school principal who had spent 18 years reading teenagers for a living. She noticed behavioral shifts, silences that said more than words, body language that contradicted every spoken sentence. She welcomed Ryan and Laura with a bottle of wine the day they arrived. Ryan accepted it. Laura stood slightly behind him. She smiled but did not reach for the bottle. Diana noticed. She did not think about it again. Not yet. The cracks. Over the next 3 months, Diana Padilla observed 6 moments. Each one alone meant nothing. Together, they meant everything. On January 19th, she realized Laura had never once been seen outside the house without Ryan. Not to check the mail, not to walk to the curb alone. When they left together, Ryan opened her car door, waited, closed it behind her. He drove, always. On February 3rd, Karen Jessup rang the Callisters' doorbell to invite them to a Super Bowl party. Ryan opened the door. Laura was visible in the hallway behind him. Ryan spoke warmly for 3 minutes. At no point did he step aside. His body filled the doorframe entirely. Laura stood behind him like a shadow. On February 14th, a group of neighborhood women organized a Valentine's coffee morning at Karen's house. Laura attended. Ryan walked her across the street and told Karen he would pick her up in an hour. When someone asked Laura for her phone number to add her to the group chat, Laura smiled and said she did not have a phone right now. She said they were doing a digital detox. She said it smoothly, like she had practiced the sentence in front of a mirror. On February 28th, during a 74-degree warm spell, Diana saw Laura in the backyard in a long-sleeved shirt and jeans. Ryan was in a t-shirt. Diana waved. Laura waved back. Just below the sleeve edge on Laura's left wrist, Diana saw a mark. It could have been a bruise. It could have been a shadow. Laura pulled her sleeve down. On March 16th, at a neighborhood barbecue at the Hendersons' house, a guest reached past Laura suddenly to grab a napkin. Laura flinched. Her entire body recoiled. A plate slipped from her hand and hit the patio. Ryan was at her side instantly. He laughed and put his arm around her. "She has always been jumpy," he said, "ever since she was a kid. Right, babe?" Laura nodded. She smiled. She picked up the plate. The moment passed for everyone, except Diana. She had seen that flinch 100 times in her career. She had seen it in students who went home to houses they dreaded. The flinch, the recovery, the laugh that came too fast. On March 22nd, Diana was sitting on her front porch in the evening. Laura was standing at the living room window of 14 Briarwood Court. Diana waved. Laura waved back. Then Laura's eyes shifted to something behind her inside the house. Something tightened in her face. She stepped away from the window immediately and did not reappear. Diana stopped rationalizing that night. She did not know what was happening inside that house, but she knew with the certainty of a woman who had spent 2 decades reading the silent language of people in trouble that Laura Callister was afraid of something in her own home. I am not his wife. April 14th, 2024, 7:15 a.m. Diana found the footage over coffee. She expected a raccoon. She saw Laura pressing paper to glass. She saw 5 words. I am not his wife. She set the coffee cup down. She held the phone with both hands. She read the words 3 times. She looked across the street. The porch light was on. Ryan's car was in the driveway. Everything looked exactly the same. Nothing would ever be the same again. Diana did not call the police that morning. She called her sister Monica, 49, in Nashville, and sent her the screenshot. Monica's response was immediate. "Call the police right now." Diana said, "And say what? My neighbor held up a sign at 3 in the morning. They will think I am crazy." Monica said, "Or they will find out you're right, and if you wait and something happens, you will never forgive yourself." On April 15th, Diana watched 14 Briarwood Court from her window. She saw Ryan and Laura in the backyard. Laura was planting flowers. She was wearing a sun hat. She looked fine. Diana questioned everything. On April 16th at 3:08 a.m., the Ring camera activated again. Same window, same figure, same posture, new paper, new words. My real name is Emma Vasquez. She held the paper for 17 seconds, this time longer, more desperate. Diana saw the footage at 6:30 a.m. She did not hesitate. She picked up the phone and dialed 911. The welfare check. On April 16th at 7:38 a.m., Officer Daniel Moreau, 34, and Keisha Bryant, 29, arrived at Briarwood Court. Diana showed them both recordings and 3 months of observations. They crossed the street and knocked on the door of number 14. Ryan Callister answered with coffee in hand. "Morning, officers. Everything okay?" They explained they were conducting a welfare check. Ryan nodded. "Laura has been dealing with some anxiety issues. She has trouble sleeping. Sometimes she does things she does not remember. We are working with a therapist." His voice was calm. His explanations were ready. Laura appeared in the living room, hair brushed, dressed, normal. Officer Bryant asked to speak with her alone. Ryan hesitated for a fraction of a second, then smiled and walked to the kitchen. Bryant asked Laura her name, Laura Callister. Asked if she felt safe. I feel safe. Asked about the notes in the window. Laura looked confused. She said she did not know what Bryant was talking about. Her voice was steady. Her eye contact was direct. Her right index finger was tapping her left wrist rapidly the entire time she spoke. In the patrol car afterward, Moreau was ready to close the call. Bryant was not. She was tapping her wrist the entire time I talked to her, Bryant said. She did not blink when I mentioned the notes. She already knew I was going to ask. That woman was performing. Bryant filed a detailed report flagging the case for the detective unit and ran the name Emma Vasquez through the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System. The result came back at 8:47 a.m. Emma Vasquez, 27, reported missing from Little Rock, Arkansas on February 2, 2023. Last seen leaving a grocery store on Cantrell Road at 6:14 p.m. Her car was found in the parking lot. Her phone was found on the front seat. 14 months missing. No leads, no suspects, no trace. The name on the paper was real. She was real, and she had been missing for over a year. The truth behind the door. Knox County Detective Alan Briere, 48, a 22-year veteran with the Major Crimes Unit, took the case at 10 a.m. By noon, his team had confirmed that no record of a Laura Callister existed in any state database. No birth certificate, no social security number, no driver's license. The identity was fabricated. Ryan Callister was also fabricated. His real name was Ryan Oster, 40, originally from Terre Haute, Indiana. He had a prior conviction in Marion County for unlawful restraint and intimidation, filed by a woman named Danielle Rourke in 2019. He had served 11 months. He had relocated to Memphis upon release and disappeared from his parole officer's records in October 2022, 4 months before Emma Vasquez vanished in Little Rock. At 2:15 p.m. on April 16th, a tactical unit arrived at 14 Briarwood Court. 6 officers, 2 unmarked vehicles. They approached with a signed warrant. Ryan Oster opened the door. He saw the officers. He saw the warrant. He did not run. He did not resist. He said one sentence. She was never going to leave. Emma Vasquez was found sitting on the bed in the master bedroom. The bedroom door had a deadbolt on the outside. The windows had been screwed shut from the frame. Inside the closet, investigators found a journal she had kept on loose sheets of paper hidden inside a pillowcase. 112 pages. She had documented every day of captivity in handwriting so small it required magnification to read. She had recorded dates, his movements, his schedules, the exact duration of each absence. She had been studying his patterns for months, waiting for the right number of seconds to cross the living room and press paper to glass before he heard her footsteps. She had rehearsed the walk from the bedroom to the front window 17 times while he slept before she finally did it. Forensic teams entered the house at 4:30 p.m. In Ryan Oster's home office, they found a laptop containing surveillance photographs of Emma taken in Little Rock over a 6-week period before her disappearance. Photographs of her walking to work, photographs of her car in the grocery store lot, a spreadsheet logging her weekly routine by day and hour. He had known when she was alone. He had known when no one would be watching. In the garage, they found a duffel bag containing duct tape, zip ties, a wig, and license plates registered to a vehicle that did not exist. Danielle Rourke. Detective Briere contacted Danielle Rourke, 34, the woman from the 2019 Marion County case. She agreed to speak. She told investigators that Ryan Oster had held her in an apartment in Indianapolis for 3 months in 2018. He had isolated her from her family, taken her phone, and created an alternate identity for her. He had introduced her to neighbors as his girlfriend. She had smiled when spoken to. She had said she was fine. When asked how she escaped, Danielle said she wrote a note and slipped it under the door of a neighboring apartment while Oster was at work. The neighbor called the police. A note slipped under a door, a note pressed against a window. 2 women, the same method, 6 years apart. Justice and aftermath. Ryan Oster was charged with kidnapping, unlawful imprisonment, assault, and identity fraud on April 22, 2024. His trial began on September 9, 2024 in Knox County Criminal Court. The prosecution, led by Assistant District Attorney Carolyn Meade, 46, presented the doorbell footage, the journal, the laptop archive, and testimony from both Emma Vasquez and Danielle Rourke. Emma took the stand on September 12th. She spoke for 47 minutes. She described the abduction, the drive from Little Rock to Memphis and then to Knoxville, the rules she was required to follow, the scripts she memorized for neighbors, the rehearsals he made her perform before every social interaction. She described the night she first pressed the paper to the window. She said she did not know if the camera across the street would capture it. She said she decided it was better to try and fail than to stand at that window one more night and do nothing. The defense argued diminished capacity and a traumatic childhood. The jury deliberated for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Guilty on all counts. Ryan Oster was sentenced to 47 years without the possibility of parole for 25. He is incarcerated at Northeast Correctional Complex in Mountain City, Tennessee. He has not spoken publicly since sentencing. Emma Vasquez moved to an undisclosed location in the spring of 2024. She does not use social media. She told a counselor at the Knox County Victim Advocacy Center that she still checks every window in her apartment before she sleeps. Every window, every night. She said some nights she stands at the glass and puts her hand flat against it just to remind herself that she can. In August 2024, Tennessee State Representative Alicia Drummond introduced House Bill 1389, the Emma Vasquez Act, requiring law enforcement to conduct in-person follow-up welfare checks within 48 hours of any initial visit where coercion indicators are documented, and mandating specialized training in identifying captivity and coerced compliance. The bill passed on November 3, 2024. Diana Padilla still lives at 11 Briarwood Court. She still checks her Ring camera every morning. Number 14 has new tenants now, a young couple with a toddler. They wave at Diana. She waves back. She told her sister Monica that she sometimes looks at the window of that house at night. She said she does not know what she is looking for. She said she thinks she's just making sure no one is standing there. Officer Keisha Bryant was promoted to detective in June 2024. When asked about the case, she said the system almost failed Emma Vasquez. She said a woman held a piece of paper to a window at 3 in the morning because she had no other way to scream. She said we should never need someone to do that. Emma's journal is stored in an evidence facility in Knoxville, 112 pages. On the last page, written the night of April 13th, the night before she first pressed the paper to the glass, she wrote a single line: "Tomorrow, I try. If no one sees, I try again." Someone saw.